Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. It's so good to have you guys back. I am so happy to have you here. So I did want to go ahead and do a quick chatty video. I am on the road, I'm on the go, and I just wanted to, before we do a chatty video, I definitely am not prepared, but I'm here, and I figured we would definitely discuss a few topics. As I go, I really want to touch base on whatever it is that you guys would like to talk about. So please don't forget to comment. I do have a poll up, so let me know. I want to go ahead and do a clearing real quick before we get started. So I want you guys to take a look at the painting. And we're going to start from the top, the crown chakra. So here we're really going to cleanse a lot of our own mindset. Maybe if we've been feeling a little foggy lately, if things have been feeling a little, if we've been feeling irritated, especially our hearts and our throat, you guys. Any kind of silencing, okay? We're going to work on our life purpose on this side. I do feel a lot of us, collectively, we have been in a place of discovery. We have really been in a place of really trying to find what it is that makes us feel happy, makes us feel joy. One of the things I remember about Carl Jung is the reason why I love him as a psychologist is because he really focused a lot on self-actualization. And this is, we often think that our biggest, most, there's an affinity for the idealism of marriage, the idealism of partnership. Like, this is the end goal, right? We always think about love in this way. But the truth is, I'm going to just show you guys the color and we'll work from there. The truth is, you guys, what really moves us, what really makes us feel connected, what really makes us feel, as if we have a life purpose, is having a career that we love, feeling fulfilled with our jobs, our sustainment. So love is definitely the root. This is our divine center. Okay? But what really moves us, it's not the moment we get married, it's not the moment we find our better half, but it's the moment that we find what we love, what we're passionate about. Okay, right here, the heart. This is optional, my loves. You do not have to be here for this. Okay? So let's talk about our thoughts and how we manifest our thoughts. So I know one of my subscribers, Liz, thank you so much for your input on our poll. One of the things that we often want is manifestation, we want things fast. We want things to really move. So I want to explain my own method of the law of attraction. I know some of you wanted to discuss my journey, my spiritual journey. So I'll give you just a little bit, okay? We're going to do a clip, just a little clip. And we are going to go ahead and do a full video on spirituality, what I've learned throughout my spirituality. So the reason why I wanted to touch base on spiritual manifestation is because a lot of us are there right now. A lot of us are in a position of, you can just follow the painting and feel it, you guys, per usual. And if you're interested, I do have this on my Instagram, so please join me. I am a psychic medium. I do read tarot intuitively. I start with a channeled message, and then I move on to the description of the cards. I am clairvoyant. I am clairaudient. I am a medium. Just a little intro for those of you who are new. So let's go ahead and talk about manifesting. And let's talk about spirituality. Just a little background. Sorry, you guys, I'm really extra sensitive to energy today. So I used to experience a lot of paranormal activity when I was really young, but I didn't know what it was. I come from a Catholic background, so we are very religious. My mother is very religious. And I noticed throughout my experiences, I would feel things. I had, imaginary friends. I spent a lot of time alone. And one of the things that really stood out to me during my childhood and my development of spirituality was sensing, right? So when I was about 10 years old, I could sense energy around me. Like an empath, like most of you, very empathic. You can feel the energy in the room, right? So I do feel this was a huge, huge thing for me. And excuse me, you guys, I'm just kind of clearing the energy here. And this was huge, right? So a big part of it was sensing my environment or sensing things. And I always felt as if I could feel the energy in the room, but I never knew how to express that. I never knew how to explain what it was that I was feeling at the moment. And don't mind me if you see me kind of cleansing, you guys. I'm just, whenever I'm around a lot of energy, I have to kind of, cleanse it. So I was 13, and my first mediumship experience was with an animal, my dog, my puppy. His spirit visited me in a state of paralysis, like I was in a sleep paralysis. And usually this is how spirits kind of tune in when your third eye is closed. If you guys are not actively in the spirit realm, the spirit world will find a way to communicate with you through physical methods, okay? So I saw my puppy. After we had to put him down, we put my dog down. And he, I didn't get a chance to say goodbye, and that was weighing heavy on me. So I remember I asked God, and I said, this is just my religion, okay? So I asked to see him, and I asked my angels to see him. And he showed up. But it was really interesting, and a lot of my subscribers, a lot of you have this experience with paralysis, right? With a sleep paralysis. So it was like I had this moment, and I was like sleeping, and I could feel pressure on my chest. But it felt paranormal. Yeah, it felt very paranormal. But I did feel it was almost like a warm sensation around my body, and it was cold, hot and cold. And I remember opening my eyes just like this. Okay? And I saw my dog. So, wow, my first experience. Comment below. Let me know what your first experience was. You know, there were a lot of things that happened in the house. I was always around paranormal activity. And, you know, when I was 12, I told my mom, this is probably why I was able to tune in, but, you know, I told my mom that I wanted to be a nun. I was so close to God, and I really wanted to be like a nun. I wanted to give my life over to religion. And I just want to let you guys know, this does not take away from your own beliefs, you guys. You could be atheists. You could be, you know, if you're into the occult, you could be here. It doesn't matter. I am not judging anybody's path here of religion. Okay? So we are all free to be who we are. So the path of spirituality was, for me, was a very solitary experience, because that's how I really needed to be, because of my, you know, empathic abilities. I could always feel everybody's pain. I was always taking on everybody's projections. This is kind of what it was. And a lot of us empaths, we're indigo children. We are star seeds, right? We take on this energy. We are constantly taking on energy that does not belong to us. So one of the things I noticed was an increase in awareness of what was happening around me. Okay? There's always an enhancement, always, excuse me, if you guys see me clearing, you guys, there's just a lot of energy on your phone. I want you guys to sage your phone, please. So this is one of the biggest things. Thoughts, our thought processes, right? Where we are in terms of our mindset. So one of the biggest things that I did when I was a child was I really learned how to appreciate my solitude, which was beautiful. It was such a reflection and a mirror of my experiences around me. I loved to read. I loved to learn. So I started learning a lot about the occult when I was like 15 or 16. And I was really into like the dark practices, okay? And I was really open to it. And it was a great experience for me overall. But I was always very much in my light, okay? So we always make a choice on our path. With that being said, that's just a little bit. My experiences are on a day-to-day, okay? So they come with animals. A lot of the animals speak to me. I am a shaman. I do consider myself a shaman through my ancestors' roots. So this is such a wonderful experience, profound, because the animals, they speak in 1,000 ways, 1,000 languages, and it's never spoken directly. So this is what I felt that I love the most about the animal kingdom, okay? The kindness, the compassion, the love. So with that being said, let's talk about words and manifestation, okay? One of the things that I really find important is the spoken word, or how we are speaking to others, our thoughts, and the foundation of our intention, okay? Manifestation is all about the beginning of the process of the mind. Sometimes, listen, when we are influenced negatively, our mind goes like this. For instance, I don't want to, say, distinct experiences here, but I really, if you guys hear me and I'm having a hard time with my words, it's just the current political climate of life. This is how it is right now. A reminder that we are all moving through spiritual warfare right now. So when I speak my truth, there's always going to be energy casted against. So bear with me. I do feel, listen, a lot of us were really... the influence there's someone that I know. They're not a bad person. Okay, let's talk about it. They're not a bad person. Okay. But let's talk about the influence real quick. I was speaking to this person about something, and it was a very short conversation, right? And one of the first things, and very often things that comes out of this person's kind of mouth or experience, it's always like a negative manifestation. And it's never intentional. I don't feel that it's intentional. I feel that we are all moving through a time where we all feel a lack. One way or another, there is a lack of some kind, okay? So all of us are moving through a time where we might feel a little worried, or we're feeling a lack in one area of our life. So here's the influence. This person, out of nowhere, we were chatting, okay? We were chatting, and she said something along the lines, oh, how is your this? Did it break down yet? Or there was an influence. This person is not a bad person. There's an influence of always leading with something very, very negative, and almost like a manifestation against, I don't want to say me, because it didn't, I don't feel like this person's bad. It's just a manifestation. It's like an influence to pull someone down, right? So these are the things that we are having to take note of, because our minds are being influenced right now. So it's really important to pay attention to what it is that we are focusing on for ourselves. It's not so much about being perfect, my loves. No one is perfect here. We are all working through, several of our shadow work. We all have things. We all have issues, you guys. We all have problems. No one is immune, okay? The influence. The second time I spoke to this person, there was always an instant drop of energy of like, something about this person didn't get sick yet. So, our words are very important, because as I said before, if we really want to manifest high, we want to have a high rate of manifestation, our words are really important. What we are speaking is really important. So when we talk this way, we are being influenced, okay? Or when we feel negative, when we feel down, like, oh, I'm losing hope, we are being influenced by otherworldly beings, by earthbound spirits, demonic entities, by parasites, okay? Astral beings. I mean, it depends, So a lot of this exists. And our world, what's happening, and listen, I say this more about us and how we move through our manifestation, because a lot of us, we want a better life, or we want, we want a new car, we want a new house, we want a new vibe, we want a new this, a new that, right? But if our mind is not in alignment with what it is that we are manifesting, what we're doing is we're pulling ourselves down, down, down. Our biggest thing in life, if we never had power, we want power. We're hungry, we want power. This is it. And this is a dangerous place. This is a dangerous place for us, right? And I was one of them. We want power because we never had it. So, I think I was listening to someone that I really enjoy on YouTube. I forget who it is. I think it's Aphrodite Stone. I really enjoy her videos. She's really sweet. She talks about having power is a responsibility. It comes with a lot of responsibility, right? It comes with acknowledging our limits, acknowledging where we're projecting a lot of this energy. So the reality is, What do we want power for? I wanted power for magic, for sorcery. I wanted power because it runs in my lineage, right? My power was more about, I wanted power for the magical abilities. Like that was my aim in life. After I graduated college, through college, that was my thing. I loved my practice of sorcery. That was me. So really acknowledging what you want power for is going to be very important. What is it that you want power for? This is going to help your manifestation. And when we are with our friends, one of the things that starts accumulating is resentment. Because if we cannot be happy for our friends, this is where we become a little bit reflective of our own stuff. So there's always a lot of, can you be happy for someone else? This is your manifestation. Open the roads for people, my loves. If you guys are here and you feel as if the world is against you, your roads are going to be closed. Because what you're telling the universe, the universe speaks science. There's a law of attraction here around how you feel about yourself first. This is not about what you want. We always jump to what we want, but we never look at who we are. Okay? We never look at who we are first. Right? We have to look. We have to acknowledge, who are we? Right? So when we think about our manifestation, when we think about what it is that we want to learn, what it is that we want to help each other with, look at how you're speaking words into existence. You have to acknowledge who you are. Okay? If you don't know who you are, or if there's more of a want, but there's a lack of who am I, that's a tough one. Right? That's a tough one. Because we're moving up the ladder without direction. Are you happy for a friend who just bought a house, or does it hurt? Does it hurt to acknowledge someone else's success? This is a big one. Where are you on this ladder? Can you be happy for someone else? What's the answer? Are you okay with third place? Right? Really acknowledging when you want something, allow the drive to come from within your strengths. What are you good at? What are you good at? So when we manifest against people, it sounds like this. Oh, you have so much of that. Right? Someone said that about my tarot collection. You have so much of that. Okay? I have so much of that. Is that fair? Who cares if I have so much of that? If that's like my thing, I share it with my community. I share it with you guys, right? Does it matter? But see, these are the things we're not aware of when we speak. That is our inner child lack. When we are pointing out there's too much. Is it too much for you, or is it too much for them? This is where we find our balance. Who is it too much for? So when we say, that's too much, okay, well, is it too much for, right? So when someone says we're getting married, or I'm getting married, and your answer is, I can never. Good luck with that. Whose vibe is that? Is that yours, or is that the person's? So the person who is negative, or can't see their light is the person who is manifesting against themselves. And I bring this up because I feel we all do this. Like, one of the things I used to do a lot was dim myself to fit people's mold. I didn't want to feel pushed out, so I constantly melted myself. I was like a snowman. I would just kind of walk around trying to fit everybody's identity, and I would minimize myself because there's this karma around me standing tall, around me being very tall. I don't think it's a thing with everyone. I think it's just karmic. Something about my own past life agreement in this life, because I did have a lot of power in my most recent incarnation, I have to humble myself, right? And I have to remain that way. And that is definitely the way of my ancestors, because the minute there's arrogance on my end, my spirit guides and my ancestors always show me the way back to my heart. That is my purpose in life, is to do things from the heart. So, having to fit small pockets to make people feel comfortable. This was the thing, right? We all do it to some degree. Some of us don't, right? Some of us don't. We're constantly focusing on what I want for myself, why I want this for myself. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with wanting and feeling deserving of things. But I just want to bring something up, because this is very common when I hear myself speak. When I hear others speak, there's a lot of projection of their own lack. When you manifest, the way you feel about another person's manifestation matters. So you don't have to necessarily agree with your friend about whatever it is that you're manifesting or whatever they're manifesting. If they say, I want to get some Cartier, next weekend, often it's followed up by, why would you do that? Or, isn't that too expensive? So comment below, whose energy is that? Is that yours, or is that person's? Who does that belong to? Let's say if I told you I want to get a brand new indie deck tonight. It's $100. And someone says, that's too much money. Or why would you do that? Whose projection is that? Is it yours? Is it mine, or is it the person's? Whose lack are we speaking here? Is it mine, or is it this person's? So I mention this, you guys, because I really want us to really invite a new method of speaking into existence, because when we are speaking about others and we speak ill of others, when we're thinking negative, those are not necessarily always your thoughts. They are influence. It's like fear feeds off fear. Anger feeds off anger, right? So we have a lot of a lack feeds off lack. So when you are around your community, and let's say you want to do a community manifestation, you can do it. But everyone praying for each other will have to be in alignment. You guys all have to understand the law of abundance. The fact that your best friend wants to spend a certain amount, or they want to go and elope with somebody, and you don't agree with it, does not... It's almost like you're attaching your identity, right? Or this person is attaching their identity to you. So why is this, it's not beneficial to you? Because when we attach ourselves to others, we are manifesting against ourselves. So here is the law of abundance. How can we be happy for other people? Someone has a new car, someone has this, someone has an ability that you want. How can you search for your strengths? One of the things I do not like to do is I have a select few readers that I look at, okay, about one or two. I try not to because I am empathic and I'm very chameleon-like, and it's easy for me to adapt to their style, right? And it's a human thing. If we see something we like, we want to kind of grab it and we want to take. Listen, part of originality and creativity and respecting someone else's work is to detach your identity from that. What is it that you like about them? Great. But detach, right? So the way I detach is I just try not to see too many or compare myself to people, because there's a fixation, there's an obsession with what they're good at, right? When we are in a position where we know people, we're manifesting, we want this, we want a house, we want this, the way people speak about your goal is very important. And I am biased because I like to spend a lot of time alone. I don't tell people my plans. I ask for prayers. This doesn't mean it goes for everyone. My legacy, my ancestors work a lot differently than others, okay? All our ancestors have different styles of manifestation. My ancestors, we like to do things in a very all hearts, but we don't like to speak too much. We don't like to tell too much. Other ancestors really work in network. There's a group thing, right? There's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. It's human nature. Listen, the words you speak are really important here. Because often when you tell someone, oh, I really want a piano next weekend, or I want to take dance class or dance classes, or, there's a desire to do something. If you're around people who are not high vibe, or they're not really at your level, or they just cannot detach their ego, you get a lot of, why would you do that? Or sometimes they'll just think negative. But just that is going against what it is that you're planting. Long story short, are you guys loving my amethyst? I love it. Listen, we are all in this right now. I feel like we all want to grow spiritually. We all want to heal ourselves. Which is great. Be mindful of your words. Sometimes people around us want the best, sometimes they don't. It doesn't matter. If you guys are manifesting something high vibe, like meaning a house, you're manifesting a car, something really big, a career, sit on it for a while, give it to the earth. Tell the earth all about what you want. You can share it with people. Take your time. Make sure that this person is sharing also an abundant lifestyle. You do not need money to have an abundant style of thinking, right? The people that I learned the best from were people who learned how to make do with what they had in front of them. It was always very positive. A lot of this is trained, you guys. We have to untrain ourselves from what we learned in our childhood. If we learned that mother didn't have anything, father didn't have this, and they were negative about it, it's a generational thing. This is where we uplift the ancestors. This is where we really start changing the generational pattern. Yeah? I say this because I was meditating. I really had an epiphany about this, about the words that we're speaking, because I see a lot of this between the interaction of, and I'm sure men go through it too, but women in friendships. There's a lot of it's like, let's be happy for each other. And I'll tell you why. The feminine, we are power. We are we create. We are creators of the earth. And men are as well. Right? But one of the things that I'm seeing is, both genders, it doesn't matter, you guys, but a lot of just disregard. Listen, we are weavers, the feminine, you guys, the catty stuff, we got to end it. Because if you get, if you really pull a circle of women together, this is one of the reasons why. This is one of the reasons why I really love the Yoni Oracle, you guys. Love the Yoni Oracle. And the reason why I love her as a creator, as an artist, she's fabulous, is because she's all about the feminine power, right? So listen, what I'm saying here is, instead of, kind of downplaying your friends, uplift them. Because when you uplift them, look at my quote on Instagram. I always say, open the roads. The more we close people out, or the more we try to dim them, the more we're like, oh, you're doing too much, or, oh, we have to minimize this, or, oh, it's not realistic, it's not rational. Those things drive me crazy. Who are they rational for? Are they rational for you? Are they rational for them? Who is it rational for? What's logical? Is it logical for you? These are the things that really matter. Is it your life or is it theirs? Be happy for people individually so we can manifest at our highest frequency, our highest vibration. This is really what it's about. When we want to see results, we give people full reign. We say, you know what? You are the master of your life. And if we have nothing to say, we hold space. Allow people to manifest their dreams, you guys, and you will see an open door of abundance as well. You will see like this. Your limitations are not your community, your community's limitations. If someone walks in, I learned this in sales before I end this because it's getting so juicy. Yes. One of the things that I learned years ago when I was in sales was, when you're selling something, right? When you're selling something and you're asking someone for, $1,000 something or whatever, whose shame is it to minimize and say, well, I don't think that's rational to charge them this much? What are you worthy of? This isn't about money, you guys. This is more about your state of mind, right? Whose shame, what kind of shame are you bringing to the table? We all have stuff around money. Mine is about power, status, because this is a generational thing on my mother's side, starting from my grandmother, right? We have Spaniard roots. There's a lot of stuff around power and status, and what kind of energy, what kind of environment we want to be around, right? So we are our own vessel. We are creators or we are destroyers. So when things are looking up for other people, how is that a reflection of you? Are you attached to their outcome? Are you identifying? This is about self-enlightenment and self-awareness. My biggest thing in life was a friend getting A's in a class that I wanted to, like statistics. I wanted to pass that class with an A. That was my dream. I just wanted to get it. Math is not my thing because I'm not a rational person, but I'm very spiritual. I'm very abstract. I think abstract. So, my friend would get straight A's and she'd barely study. She had this smooth flow to just get the grades in that class, and I was so envious. but not of her. It was envious of the ability to just get it, right? I wanted to get it that way. So what I did was I manifested instead of looking at her and saying, well, why does she get it? Why does she get it? You know, this is what I've been doing when people are in a bad mood and they throw it at me. I just go like this. Look, I go. So my mother taught me. I just watched her just gracefully handle the rudest people that were unaware of their anger, unaware of their grief. And my mother, you know, she is not born American. Okay? Definitely a citizen now, but she was not born American. So she taught me the grace of handling people who had this bitterness around their life and they needed to throw it at anyone possible, anyone with a smile, because everyone just hated when my mother would smile through the challenges. And I think it's generational. It's just one of those things. So she would just show me, you know, because she would just say, it's like this internal clock I want you guys to have. Is it yours to carry or is it not? So what I started doing on the road when people are like, I mean, we all have mornings where we are in a place. We're on the road, we're late, there's an emergency, who knows, right? And we're like, get out the way, get out the way. Listen, for people that are, and people who are just angry, I just go, okay. And I get in my car, and if I'm already in the car, I'm just like, people are just today. And it just instantly feels so much better. It instantly feels so much better. Instead of engaging in anger. I mean, I'm not saying you can't get angry, but what's your outlet? Use it for your manifestation instead of being jealous or envious of people. I'm not saying you guys are, but if you know people around you, tell them, be like, you know, there's no need to compare. What's your light? What are your strengths, right? A lot of the time we're angry and we're walking around because we think no one cares, or, you know, we're walking around with a lot of unresolved spiritual karma, unresolved issues around our lives, and we take it out on other people. And the hardest part is to say we're wrong. So what's your strength? What's your thing? Right? We have to find it. This is huge. Thank you for holding space, and I hope that was helpful. Comment below if you guys have any more questions on manifestation. Remember, this is a big one. I really want you guys to hold space for this. Someone else's joy is their joy. Be joy with them and manifest and help them so you can open the doors for your manifestation. If you guys cannot be happy for people, that is internal work. The people that you love, you should be helping them rise. It's not about, I always heard growing up a lot of, well, I'm not going to overdo it for you. Or, you know, that's great, but what do you want? I'm not going to stroke your ego for you. Instead of doing that, really go for the other route. Raise your friends, you guys. Raise your friends and say, that's awesome. Give them some good vibes. Give them good energies. Pray for people that you love. Pray that they open the doors for you. And any kind of prayer. It could be a prayer to yourself if you are your own God, okay? If you are, you know, it doesn't matter. What is it? Right? Give grace to all the things that you don't have. Instead of minimizing, don't minimize people, you guys. Someone says they have a really big dream and you don't know what to say. Say, wow, okay. That sounds amazing. Do it. What's next? Are you going to write it down? If you guys don't want to hear about it, just love people and watch the abundance roll. I love you. Bye.